Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, exploring the latest feature functionality of Hyland's OnBase. OnBase 24.1 was released in February of 2024 and is Hyland's current version. My name is Cailen Myers. I am one of the principal consultants at RPI Consultants. We are thrilled to have you here with us today. Over the next 30 minutes or so, we will walk through some of the exciting new features and enhancements in the latest version of Hyland's OnBase. Not all the features or functions we'll be able to get through today, but we will focus on these updates and any benefits to your organization. If you have any questions, we'll get to those at the end, but please feel free to type them in the chat box at any time. Here's our agenda for this session today. We will review the overview of the Hyland OnBase 24.1, key new features, enhancements to existing features, integration improvements, security updates, and of course, the Q&A session at the end. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive right in. Hyland OnBase 24.1 represents a significant step forward in enterprise content management. This version focuses on improving user experience, enhancing integration capabilities, and providing robust security features. Whether you are using OnBase for document management, workflow automation, or records management, there's something new for everyone. OnBase 24.1 is an annual release version and is a major release with 2 years of an active maintenance with monthly service releases. Let's get started with some of the key features in OnBase 24.1. OnBase App Builder and their enhancements. Support for WorkView data sources. This adds support for WorkView data sources to the OnBase App Builder for partners and customers to create and deploy modern-looking applications that combine both content and data sources. WorkView components as a source, WorkView filter as a source, fixed constraints only, WorkView-based workflow queues as a source. You can also create or display WorkView objects as actions. Another nice thing to note is the dashboard view for applications such as expense management. There are also several web client enhancements. Single window mode, which was first introduced in OnBase 23.1, but now this includes side panel resizing, single click to open revisions, side-by-side view, and workflow related documents. The text report viewer also is an enhancement with a new ruler type for better document navigation. You'll notice that Hyland has released many enhancements with the web server over time, and they're trying to make this a more user-friendly application that is similar and has the same functions as the Thick client and Unity client. The single window mode is nice because when enabled, functionality to use that to pop out a new window will be displayed as either a full screen or a side panel, depending on the layout of the item being displayed. Some examples would be a document viewer, keywords, notes, and document properties. And then for the ruler, there are 3 types of rulers that can be displayed. You'll notice that I have a screenshot and the ruler options are in the middle of that screenshot. Ruler 1 displays a hash mark every 5th column. Every 10th column's number is displayed on either side of its hash mark. Ruler 2 displays a hash mark every 5th column. Every 10th column's number is displayed above its hash mark. Ruler 3 displays the last 2 digits of every even column. So for example, if you were on column 104, only the number 04. Numbers are displayed vertically. And of course, you do always have an option of turning the ruler off, so you will not see any hash marks or digits. There has been many accessibility improvements, so that way we can be WCAG 2.1 AA compliance. There were 277 improvements made for the web client, 53 for the Unity client, 38 for the external access client, 28 for our public sector web access, and about 35 for the agenda online. With over 400 improvements across modules, Hyland is still working to make more in pieces. Some of these enhancements will include better screen reader capability, elements such as combo boxes, select control, now are operable by keyboard. They've added some missing alt attributes, adjusted non-contrast text, increased color contrast ratios, corrected tab focus and orders, and they've labeled more headings, fields, and elements. And they've also implemented status messages, just to name a few. Another integration is Adobe Sign. Adobe Sign is stronger to DocuSign. It was ranked number 2 and is moving from about 5% market share to 2% in 2023. Added functionality closes critical feature gaps that existed between Adobe Sign and DocuSign integrations and may allow for more organizations to see Adobe as a valuable solution to pair with their OnBase and Drive integration adopt. You'll notice in OnBase Studio, there's a new action type to upload to Adobe Sign. On the right-hand side of the screenshot in your properties panel, there is now an option to get Adobe Workflow ID from the property, as well as other information for your Adobe Sign documents. You would get an Adobe Workflow ID and set it as a property to be used in existing upload to Adobe Sign OnBase workflow action. Send to Adobe Acrobat Sign might have related documents to go with them. And you can configure a keyword to set the related document in order for envelopes with multiple documents to be signed. Workflow messaging. Relaunch a workflow XML messaging to improve message capabilities for better communication and automation within workflows. So what is it exactly? This enables OB, line of business, integrations to be handled directly within OnBase workflow with point-and-click configuration of XML messaging without relying on any type of BizTalk or custom programming. Using existing features, rules, and actions to provide a rich integration environment for OnBase integrators that are maintained by your OnBase administration team. For example, workflow queues with robust error handling for these XML messages, no code tool that enhances integrations in OnBase by adding XML messages, handling to the work, and product is currently being utilized as part of the AP solution and Guidewire integrations with OnBase. Some of the use case scenarios for workflow messaging would be to update OnBase from an external system, employ an on-ramp inbound REST API call to receive XML messages into workflow, allowing streamless integration of data sent by external systems. Utilize workflow actions and rules to efficiently update the OnBase database on the received message. You can update external systems from OnBase, which would initiate updates external systems by employing REST off-ramps to transition or JSON messages. This includes using OnBase to query external systems for data, establishing a two-way communication channel to sync information between OnBase and that external platform. You could use it for bi-directional communication with external systems, two-way on-ramp for RPC-like interfaces, call remote systems, synchronized responses, and real-time lookup. Another use case would be for your external autofill sets via workflow messaging. You can integrate your external autofill keyword sets into workflow messaging, enabling automation from external sources. This feature streamlines data entry and enhances the accuracy of keyword sets within OnBase by automatically pulling the information from the external system. Definitely will help your organization by reducing errors and making sure all your information is in sync from one application to the next. You could use it for the orchestration of the engine and document retrieval from cloud repositories. With everyone moving to the cloud, that is something to definitely investigate in your organization to see if that makes sense for you. Architect and admin tools. There are configuration change tracking now available. This is an enhanced tracking of configuration changes in the OnBase Administration Portal. The OnBase Administration Portal was originally released in Foundation 21.1, which included users, user groups, document types, and keywords. Now these enhancements include privilege-based menus. This is dynamic menus that are items based on your permissions, and information is presented to the user, limited on what they have the rights to view and update. You can also view change history, which is what I'm displaying on the screen there. So you'll notice on the right-hand side, there is a history box, and you can view configuration change history accessed directly from the admin portal at the object level. You can see who made an update, who viewed it, who created it, who modified it, and any other information you may be looking for. Reporting dashboards. Reporting dashboards have been around for a while, first released in OnBase 15. Now we have a web-based configuration tool where we can create and modify dashboards using a web-based tool built using Angular components. These dashboards can be configured and they will appear in all clients. Just to go a little bit more in depth on the dashboards, the web-based configuration tool does create and modify dashboards using the web-based tool built-in Angular components, which is configured for the dashboards to show in all clients. You can do things like the grid, so users can now convert and display reports as dashboards in grid format. Refresh. Your database and your dashboards are being refreshed automatically as per the refresh rates. Export. The complete dashboard with multiple items should be exported to PDF, image, and Excel files as per the user's choice. And then the display. So in HRDWS dashboard, double-click on the dashboard item to open the specific item in the web client to display it. And lastly, our hyperlinks. So in line with the features in the Unity client, when we copy a hyperlink into HRDWS, the save parameter should always be included. If we make a change in the parameter while copying the link, the change parameter should also be saved. Once accessing the hyperlink, the dashboard should be opened with the parameter saved while copying the link. So in addition to many new features, OnBase 24.1, of course, will include several enhancements to our existing functionalities and features. Our first enhancement is an improved workflow designer. This would be a more intuitive design tool and templates for faster workflow creation. This is very important to any OnBase administrator to be able to enhance and perform your duties as an OnBase administrator quicker with more tools available. Enhanced security protocols will strengthen encryption and access controls to measure and protect your data. There is an updated user interface, which is a cleaner, more modern interface for the better user experience, and faster search capabilities. So you'll notice that in previous versions, sometimes searching for things like documents does take a while. Now with this enhanced search algorithm, you will have a quicker document retrieval. These enhancements ensure that OnBase continues to meet your evolving needs. Now we're going to discuss integration improvements. Some of the integration improvements is seamless integration with third-party applications. This is to improve APIs and connectors for easier integration. Hyland currently has 2 new OnBase integrations with Deltek CostPoint. Deltek is used as an ERP system for a lot of governments. The 2 integrations are IA Connect, which is used for invoice automation, and then Rec Connect, which is used for requisition processing. Another integration improvement is enhanced ERP and CRM connectivity, which will better support the popular ERPs and CRM systems like SAP, Oracle, and Salesforce. And then lastly, a streamlined data migration tool. These are simplified tools for migrating data from legacy systems to OnBase. Security is always a top priority for everyone. OnBase 24.1 introduces several key security updates. These updates help ensure that your sensitive information remains secure. Security updates. We have advanced threat detection. These are new tools to identify and mitigate potential security threats. Enhanced user authentication. This will allow multi-factor authentication and single sign-on capabilities. Comprehensive audit trails. This will provide detailed logging and monitoring for compliance and security audits. And lastly, our database security. OnBase 24.1 will now encrypt all ADO.NET communication to and from the OnBase database server. So unless you change the ADO.NET connection string to be configured to not use encryption, this setting will be turned on. This change is going to help customers secure their OnBase solutions in cases where they may have not realized that the connection to the OnBase database was not encrypted. If your OnBase solution already is configured to support and enforce encryption, you can just ignore this change because nothing will change for you. Thank you for all your attention and time today. We hope you're as excited about these new features in OnBase 24.1 as we are. So let's move on to the Q&A session. If you haven't already, please feel free to type in any and all of your questions in the chat box, and we'll try to address them one by one. Our first question is, what are the requirements to use Adobe integration? The Adobe Sign integration does rely on the OnBase workflow lifecycle, so you have to have the required features for that. You do also need to have something called HESIS, which is the Hyland Signature Integration Service. Just to be clear, that it is separate from the OnBase API server. And no, you don't need the OnBase API server anymore. And then the HESIS also does use .NET 6. So you would need to have that installed separately on your server. Another question we have is, what are the benefits of workflow messaging versus BizTalk? So in my personal opinion, I think there are a few benefits to switching to the workflow messaging. First one being the point and click configuration. So if you were to ever have a new OnBase admin supporting your system, or just need to make a change, having a point and click configuration is a lot easier as an OnBase admin to troubleshoot and to build than knowing some of the custom programming you would need for the BizTalk. It also adds XML message handling to your workflows. And even though BizTalk does this as well, but it also will synchronize that data between your OnBase and your LOB, so your line of business. Looks like we have another question about the workflow XML licensing, or I'm sorry, messaging, which I want to know, is there additional licenses for the workflow XML messaging? So you would need to be on OnBase 21.1 or higher. You do need a workflow license, and you do need a workflow message license. Another question we have here is, why are they now releasing OnBase in Q1 instead of closer to the end of the year? It is my understanding that this decision was driven actually from customer feedback that Hyland received. They wanted to update the cadence to provide customers with more of an opportunity to upgrade and adopt the new capabilities and solutions during the active release lifecycle. This is proving more ROI for customers with each version upgrade. Looks like our last question here is, do I have to contact Hyland support for assistance with these new features or enhancements? You most certainly can reach out to your first line of support with Hyland, or you're welcome to, of course, contact us here at RPI. We would be happy to assist you in reviewing your software, your environment, and your licenses to see how to best take advantage of these new features and functions. It looks like that's all the questions we have for right now. If there's any additional questions that we didn't get to answer that maybe come in after the fact, we will definitely respond via email to answer those for you. Thank you for joining us today. If you have any further questions, or if maybe you'd like to see a personalized demo, please don't hesitate to contact us at questions@rpic.com. I hope everyone has a great day, and thanks again.